Gogo.
Hello, Mvuku.
Hello, Gogo.
Sanibonani bantwana. Hello, Marang. Rian, are you okay? What's going on? You're looking so down today.
Nee, Gogo. Tiger's dood.
Wie's Tiger?
Tiger's my baba hondjie. Of ek kan sê was my baba hondjie. Ek voel so skuldig. Ek wens daar was 'n manier wat ek na hom kon kyk. Miskien het hy dan nog gelewe.
Oh, nee, Rian, luister. Everything happens in God's time, and we cannot stop that time when things happen. But what I can tell you right now is that Tiger is in heaven, and he's very happy.
Dink ook so.
Ek weet so, and he's looking right down on you right now.
Baie dankie, Gogo. Ek was bietjie depressief vroeër.
Depressed? That's a big word. Who can tell me what that word means?
Well, depression is a feeling that affects the mind and the body. It also affects how someone sleeps and eats.
I heard that it helps to get psychological help when you're feeling depressed.
It's true, but also it is very important to speak out your feelings and how you feel to people close to you. Because if you don't do so, you will be harboring things and then you go into depression.
Consider, Gogo, keeping your feelings bottled up is not good at all. It can affect the people that you react to around. It also means that if you see a person and they lash out for no reason,
that's why it was good for you to come and tell me about your feelings, Vian. Because now I could communicate to you positive thoughts instead of negative thoughts.
Baie dankie, Gogo.
And remember, we're also here if you need to talk, Vian.
Dankie julle.
On that note, we must also talk about the life cycle of animals so that Vian here can have a better understanding about animals.
Great. Plus, can I go kry phologolo?
all right.
Okay, guys, let's go to the Wonder Room.
Door to everything and everywhere. Open up and take us there.
Gogo, ek het altyd gedink diere groei soos mense en hulle leef dieselfde tyd ook.
Well, Vian, different animals have different life cycles. Let's take a look at some of them and see how they differ from each other. Have a look at this.
There are things that makes life possible on Earth. We have got the 3 spheres of life, things that makes life possible, which we call the biosphere. And then under the biosphere, we have the lithosphere, which is the ground, the surface that we live in. And then we also have the hydrosphere, which is the waters. Remember, it was not going to be possible if there was no water. So the surface makes it possible for us to build our house, to grow our plants, and for us to be able to live on the surface. And also we need water and also the atmosphere. Why the atmosphere? Gases. We need gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So we've got animals, they are living things, remember? We've got human beings, are living things. And then we've got plants. Plants are also living things. So when we are talking about living things, we are talking about the 3. And then one of the characteristics that you have mentioned, you said reproduction, which means that all living things must reproduce. What is to reproduce? When we say this, the plant is reproducing, or people reproduce, or animals reproduce. What is to reproduce? Why do we have to reproduce? Why do plants have to reproduce? Why do animals have to reproduce? What is the reason? So that life can go on. There must not be an end to life. So it is important that animals reproduce. It is important that plants also reproduce. So that is one of the characteristics that we can identify a living thing, reproduction. So let us look at some of these parts of the flower. All right, this is an angiosperm flower. An angiosperm is those flowers, those plants that make seed by flowers. So you see plants having flowers, and sometimes after that, then there are seeds coming out of the flowers. So before they make a seed, they produce flowers. Okay, we've got a plant here, and an angiosperm plant has got both male and female part on the same flower. Remember, I said they cannot move. So reproduction must take, or fertilization must take place here. So this plant cannot move to another plant to reproduce. So which means reproduction must take place, or fertilization must take place here where the plant is. So an angiosperm plant has got both female and male-female in one plant. You understand that? So in this part, we've got the stamen, which is the male part. This part from here, this part is the male part on one flower, on one plant. And this other part is the female part. So how does reproduction happen there? So we've got this one, which is a filament, the long stalk. Can you see the long stalk here? This is the filament in a male part. In a stamen is a filament, and it holds the anther. There is an anther on top. The anther is the one that contains the seeds. The seeds are contained, the male sex cells of a plant are contained in an anther, which is lifted up by the filament. All right, and then also this part, a female part. All right, this is a female part. A female part has got 3 parts. It has got the stigma, which is this small part here, and then the tube. This is the tube. It's not a stalk. Remember, this one in a male part is a stalk, and this one is a tube because it's a female. And the tube is called the style. And then the ovary, that is where fertilization takes place. Can you see the parts now? All right, and then when it happens, the seeds are going to be blown by the wind from the anther. The anther opens up, the seeds are blown by the wind, or they are taken by some insects, and then when they come and sit on the stigma of the same flower, those seeds which are coming from the anther, they are taken, they go inside the stigma and then through to the ovary, and in the ovary there are ovules, they are eggs. And then the male eggs which are coming to the stigma, they are going to the ovary, and there are eggs inside here, and then fertilization takes place. I want us to look at the frog. We call a frog an amphibian. Amphibian meaning it can live both in water and on land. So let us briefly look at the fertilization or reproduction or the life cycle of a frog, how it reproduces. Remember, it's a living thing, and you said living things reproduce. Fertilization in frogs takes place in water, not on land. It starts from here. This is the eggs that I'm talking about. Can you see at the back there? Can you see? Can I move a little bit? These are the eggs, and they are sticky. Remember, they've got a jelly-like substance. From there comes larvae. This is a frog. It is going to be a frog, but it starts like this. We call it larvae. It hatches from those eggs. And then from there, it attaches in those plants that I talked about, that there are small plants in the water. So this larvae, we don't call it a frog yet. It is not developed. It is not fully developed. It's a larvae. So a larvae attaches itself on those plants under the water. From there, as it develops the gills. The gills are used for breathing. It develops these gills. When it is on this stage, we say it's a tadpole. It doesn't have legs, it doesn't have limbs, it doesn't have anything, only these 2 in front and the gills. So it's a tadpole. All right? And then it goes on. From there, it develops legs behind. You see the legs that it uses to hop and to swim. Then it develops, but it still has a tail. Have you ever seen a frog with a tail? It doesn't have a tail. As it develops, then the tail becomes shorter and shorter until it's an adult frog without a tail. That is how fertilization takes place.
Let's learn about the life cycle of animals. The life cycle of an animal includes all the stages from the end of the last generation to the beginning of the next. Life cycles vary in time depending on the species of animal and can be as short as just a few weeks for insects to up to 200 years for sea urchins. Despite the time differences, all animal cycles begin with a growth and development process, which is then followed by reproduction. The reproduction stage in the cycle of life marks the end of the cycle, and many animals often die after they have reproduced just once. Most animal species begin life as a single egg cell that becomes fertilized. The growth process varies in speed depending on species, as some animals are born in less than a week of conception, where others can be born nearly 2 years afterwards. Animals are often born in different ways, depending on the group, as mammals give birth to live young, where birds, fish, and reptiles lay eggs. In some egg-laying animals, such as sharks, the eggs are laid and incubated inside the body of the mother shark, who therefore gives birth to live young. Depending on the animal species, some animals live very solitary lives and only meet up with other animals from the same species to mate, where other animal species such as termites and monkeys are very sociable animals and spend their lives in a group. Animals spend their lives hunting for food and water, staying safe and looking for a mate to reproduce with. All animals that need another animal to reproduce are split into males and females, both of which have very different reproduction organs that need to be combined in order for those animals to produce offspring. A small number of animals are asexual, meaning that they have both male and female reproductive organs and are therefore able to self-fertilize. Slugs, snails, and barnacles are all asexual animals. Before an animal can reproduce, it must first find a partner. Animals attract their mates by courting them, a process which varies dramatically between different species. Some species of male birds have brightly colored feathers and do elaborate dances in order to try and get the female to notice them. Other animals, such as certain birds and fish, are known to almost dance together, often copying one another. The male animals of many species often have features to attract females, such as long noses or large manes. Courtship leads to mating between animals in order to reproduce, and these relationships can last for life or just momentarily. The ability to reproduce is the most fundamental part of life for any living species, as it allows the species to multiply and evolve. Reproduction in animals either occurs asexually, just one male that has both male and female reproductive organs and can therefore self-fertilize, or using sexual reproduction, which involves both male and female from that species. Female animals produce egg cells, which need to meet a male sperm cell in order for them to start developing into a new animal. Depending on where the fertilization occurred, either internally or externally, the young will either be looked after by both parents, such as birds, or just by the mother. In mammals, generally, the amount of time an animal will live for is greatly dependent on the size of its body. Blood temperature also plays an enormous part in an animal's lifespan, as the slowly moving, cold-blooded animals, such as reptiles, tend to live longer than more frantic, warm-blooded animals, such as birds. Animals that are successful and therefore healthy also live for longer than those animals which are weak and vulnerable in their environments.
Dis baie interessant. So die lewensverwagting van 'n hond is baie korter en hulle sterf ook dus gouer.
Dis waar, Vian. You see, we spend so much time trying to keep our pets and cats and dogs healthy as can be, but there still seems to be a problem that makes us to lose them sooner than we should. And some of the deaths that we find in dogs, we may not be able to prevent.
Yeah, Gogo, we can also help our puppies at a healthy weight, nutritious diet, adequate exercise, and minimal toxic exposure. This will help our puppies live a long life. However, izinja ziyagula and zingalimala severely, which can shorten their lifespan, but it's beyond our control.
Yeah, itumela gore una lentswe siameng that you shared great memories with. Those will be cherished forever.
Dankie julle. Ek gaan 'n gedenkkaart by die huis maak en dan gaan ek hom begrawe.
Vian, now you're feeling better. Guys, let's go to the other side and see how much we can remember of what we've learned.
Okay, Gogo.
Yeah. After you guys. Okay, guys. I want us to make a chart of a life cycle of a butterfly. A butterfly has different stages before it is fully fledged to be a butterfly. So I want us to work together and make a beautiful chart.
Guys, I hope we can do this.
Of course we can do this, only if we are going to work as a team. And again, we'll work as a team, put our different skills and thoughts together and help these two guys. Okay, ke tlo batla gore wena Sanele uzobhala la. Okay. The first stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage, and fifth stage and sixth stage of a lifestyle of a butterfly. You are going to get the pictures and paste them on the chart. Okay. So ngicela ukuthi uthathe ipensele, ubhale if you underline ngeruler, ubhale stage 1.
Okay. Gaan baie cool wees.
Dit gaan. Stage 1, ubhale kahle please ne? Ungabhale njengomfana, ubhale njengomarang. Stage 1. Mawuqedile, and ubhale kubonakala ne mawuqedile ubhala laying of eggs. Then you are going to look for the picture of laying of eggs, and then you are going to paste it on the chart. Say, that's the Honda. You can also help. You can glue it, and then okay. Let Vuko help you there. It's Gogo's house. Hey, Gogo's house.
Say.
Okay.
Stick it over here.
Stage 1. Laying of eggs.
Okay.
Okay. Is it going to be stage 2?
Okay, Gogo.
Yes, Gogo, that picture.
Bese ke ubhala laid eggs.
Okay. Let's do this.
Morago ga fo go latela efeng o nagana gore ke efeng? Which picture comes next? Who can guess?
Okay, stick this in. Thank you. Let me just. There we go.
Mawuqeda bese ubhale stage 3.
Okay.
Who can tell me what is stage 3?
That one.
Caterpillar.
The caterpillar. The caterpillar. Okay. Bese you glue it, and then you paste the caterpillar onto that.
Is that how you spell caterpillar?
C-A.
Yes.
T-E-R.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we can stick this. E-R.
P-I.
E-I.
Double L.
Yes.
A-R. Yes. That's caterpillar. Is it pasted?
Let's go.
Basically, the caterpillar, it turns into a cocoon. So stage 4 is the stage of the cocoon.
There you go, Madam. Do you want to glue it?
Which way is it? This way?
Other way, upside down. Yeah, that way.
Yes.
Like that. Yes.
This?
No. Like that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so cocoon is C-A-C.
Double O-N.
Double O-N.
Yes.
And then just like that.
And then this cocoon, it lays inside there, then the butterfly will lay in the cocoon for a long long time, it will eat leaves and then it will become big and strong.
Okay. So, what's this next stage, Gogo?
The next stage, guess what? The butterfly emerges from the cocoon. Then we have a butterfly. Basically, this process starts all over again. It goes back to the laying of the eggs.
Okay.
Huh?
Gogo, butterflies are so beautiful.
They are. Hey, I love their colors.
Day 5. Butterfly.
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Okay. And then we go. Close the glue.
Now that's the different stages of a butterfly. Okay, friends, ke solofela le itumetse lona le ithutile go le gontsi. Le lona ko gae ko, you can make different charts of life cycles of different animals. And remember, working as a team is fun and your work will become more efficient. Go fitlhela re kopanang gape, remember to send us your emails at epichangout@sabc.co.za. Remember, we love you. Until we meet again, same place, same time. Goodbye.